I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Board of Education to order. If you'd all please stand for the invocation. Ms. Felita Quattlebaum.
If you would be so kind as to bow your heads and pray with me. Heavenly Father, as we gather here together this evening to conduct the business of New Hanover County Schools, we thank you for yet another springtime. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the students of this great community. Lord, please help us to be thoughtful in our speech, respectful in our conduct, and wise in the important decisions that come before us. We pray for our servicemen and women, our police officers, who put their lives on the line to keep us all safe. Father, we ask a special blessing for our Board of Education members as they seek to bring honor to the duties they have been elected to perform. Bless our superintendent, Lord, our senior leaders, principals, teachers, employees, and all students. Let this district continue to improve and be a place where all children are cherished and given every opportunity to succeed. Father, we ask these and all blessings in your most holy name. Therefore, it is with grace and humility that we count it as done. Thank you, Lord, and amen.
Please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and posting of colors. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
grabbing them back there. You lost them.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jackie Booth, the Supervisor of Arts Education here at New Hanover County Schools. Can we have another round of applause for that beautiful singing tonight? Thank you. We are going to get those students right back up here to introduce themselves to you. Those were the College Park Elementary Chorus under the direction of Miss Katie Phillips. So we'll have them back up here in just a moment. In the meantime, our flags tonight were the Ashley High School NJROTC, and we would like to introduce them to you. They're going to tell you their name, rank, and grade.
My name's Lance Autry. I'm a sophomore, and I am an ensign.
My name is Marshall Manning. I'm a seaman apprentice, and I'm a freshman.
My name's Johanna Carroll. I am a freshman, and I'm a seaman. My name's Maggie Piner. I'm a freshman, and I'm cadet seaman.
Thank you very much. And now our singers are back, and they're going to tell you their names and what grade they are in.
Hi, my name is Lydia, and I'm in 4th grade. Hi, my name is Bella, and I'm in 4th grade. Hello, my name is Peyton, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and I'm in 4th grade. Hi, my name is Idana, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hello, my name is Ashlyn, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hello, my name is Abby, I'm in 4th.
Hi, my name is Kylie, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name's Andrew, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Jenna, I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Mia, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Ishan, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Keelan, and I'm in 5th grade. Hello, my name is Piper, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hello, my name is Kaylee, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hey, my name is Braylon, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hello, my name is Logan, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth, and I am in 5th grade. Hello, my name is Sophia, and I am in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Jada, I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Bella, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Sincere, and I'm in 4th grade.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Ms. Quattlebaum, for that invocation as well. That was beautiful. All right, moving on to item number 2, approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Who gave the second?
I did.
Okay. Ms. Nichols? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pardon? All right, if everyone could please speak up.
Microphones, they said they're not working.
The mics are not working.
Evelyn's gone back to checking the back.
Oh, they don't sound like it.
In the interim, if everyone can speak up. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Item number 3, approval of the minutes. Item A, regular meeting minutes from February 5th and March 5th. Everyone has had a chance to look over those. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? It is approved. Item number B, special meeting minutes from March 28th.
Move for approval.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Item number 4, recognition of achievement. Item A, community partnership, Wilmington Fire Department. Ms. Quattlebaum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, we will have our first partnership presentation, and it happens to be with our great City of Wilmington Fire Department. They will tell us how their organization supports our students through activities such as Operation Warm and Fire Prevention Week. So at this time, I'll ask Ms. Wendy Giannini, the Community Risk Reduction Coordinator for the Fire Department, to please come forward. Thank you.
I would first like to say surprise to my boss, who's sitting in the front row. We did not know that we would be here at the same time, and one of my firefighter brothers is in the back row too, so Wilmington Fire is well represented here tonight. Thank you for the introduction, and tell me, am I clicking? Okay, all right, so this screen, and I feel strange with the folks behind me, so I want to make sure everyone knows that we're excited. The Wilmington Fire Department is excited about a community partnership with our school board. The symbol that you see on the screen says fire is everyone's fight. That's because the fire department cannot alone take care of all the fire problems that we have in Wilmington. It belongs to individual families, it belongs to teachers and school children and the community as a whole. So now there's a photograph of Operation Warm, which wasn't necessarily the Wilmington Fire Department, but one of our special groups. That's the International Firefighters Association. Our local union is number 129. And each year, growing in size, is Operation Warm here in our city. This was a series of photographs from Snipes Elementary School, where the Firefighters Association finds partnership with Operation Warm to fund coats for kids. So we're glad that that's here, and we're glad that's one of the programs that the Firefighters Association participates in regularly with the schools. And you may remember some years ago, Wilmington Fire, not to be confused with New Hanover County Fire Rescue, two departments within our same school boundaries. Wilmington Fire had a program called Lunch Buddies. We visited schools during the entire lunch period and visited about fire safety topics. And New Hanover County Fire Rescue, our partners north and south of the city of Wilmington, continue to do an outreach program with your school system called Recess Buddies, which is a fantastic way for fire and school system and the kids to get together. So mostly we think about fire prevention in October. October is holds Fire Prevention Week and is kind of turned into all of Fire Prevention Month. But I wanted to make sure that the school board knew and that all the teachers and staff knew that if they were interested in having trucks come to visit, or if they were interested in coming to visit stations, we have a request form that's online that makes it super easy for the public to be able to interact kind of formally with the fire department. We'd love to have you visit us, and we'd love to come visit you. There's another important thing that we can partner together with from the faces of our classroom, reflected back to the fire department, with working smoke alarms. The fire department's fire marshal's office is in charge of making sure that commercial and public structures are safe for us, but the real fire problem in our city and across the nation happens in people's homes. That's where most of the dangerous stuff is, and that's also where the fire marshal's office does not visit. So again, with the theme of fire is everyone's fight, if you know that there are children in your classrooms that don't have working smoke alarms, we can help with that. We know that working smoke alarms save lives. We have a small budget that affords some smoke alarms for us to install annually within our city limits, and then New Hanover County Fire Rescue just outside the city has a similar program. So if you know that there are kids that are without smoke alarms, please let us help. It's another visit to the website or a phone call right to me. Another thought that I've been having repeatedly over and over again in my dreams at night is having a firefighter visit you at your PTA meeting. We didn't talk about the evacuation in case there was a fire alarm here in this building, but you'd move towards the exits, right? I can imagine in my mind that before every PTA meeting, or at least a few of them a year, your local fire station sends a representative. Maybe they're helping with the pledge. Maybe, I don't think I'd ask them to sing the national anthem. There may be one or two good ones, but generally I'd say stick with the pledge and also point the way to the exits. Wouldn't that be an excellent way for firefighters and the families at your schools to partner together, to get together, and just be on kind of a casual but informational basis? So pointing out emergency exits, I'd love to see it. This program is a program that I really, the most important message for you tonight has to do with youth fire setters that I really wanted to discuss kind of personally with you. There are kids that are lighting fires. Sometimes it's in the trash can in the school bathroom, sometimes it's out in the grounds surrounding your school, sometimes it's reported to the fire department, sometimes it's not. But Wilmington Fire has a really strong education and prevention program that has to do with youth fire setters. We are not trying to get anyone in trouble, and we're trying to work within the framework of our base of knowledge, our expertise, which is not mental health, but we can use a specific tool that comes from another state, a neighboring fire department, that helps us assess the risk of reset. So if you are having problems in your school, even if it's just once, we'd love to know. Again, it's about education, prevention, intervention, and keeping the kids in school safe. We want to make sure that families aren't extended when it comes to the danger of youth lighting fires at home or in their neighborhoods. So keep us in mind. That might be something to share with SROs too, huh? Career fairs, we can help. We've got 200 people that work for Wilmington Fire that are, proud and ready to stand up and say, how about a career in the fire service? We know that monthly you have fire drills at your schools because that's the law, and we'd love to participate when it comes to fire drills as well. We don't want to pull your pull station and make your students move. We still want for you, the administration, to do that, but we'd love to give a high five and encouragement and help connect the dots that sounding alarm has to do with the firefighter's response. And if you need materials or resources, especially as we approach October, we can help you with those. We've got lots of social media sites, so we keep them updated constantly with education and information to help keep families safe in and around town, in their homes, and in their neighborhoods. So please call on us for resources, and we're here to help. We're glad to be partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do to keep our town safe, all of you. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right.
Presentation is a feature that our board has requested, and I think it shows a lot of creativity. So each month, what we will do at the meeting in the beginning here is we'll highlight a video created by our schools to show the uniqueness of the schools and the special programs that they offer. So our brave first principal is Mr. Adrian Pearson, and he will highlight what's happening at the Career Readiness Academy at Mosley. Mr. Pearson.
Thank you, Ms. Quattlebaum. Board Chair, Ms. Eastep, Vice Chair, Mr. Wortman, rest of the Board of Education, Dr. Markley. I appreciate this opportunity to showcase and give you a little taste of our little family over at the Career Readiness Academy, located on Princess Place Drive. We have several programs, a lot going on, but we try to integrate and have all programs involved as much as possible. Hope you sit back and enjoy this little video. If you have any questions or want to visit, please come by and see us at any time. Thank you. Welcome to the Career Readiness Academy at Mosley, your one-stop for a variety of quality educational opportunities. Come in and learn more about our Career Readiness Academy Pre-K Center, our Career Readiness Academy E-Academy, Career Readiness Academy Academy of Finance, and our Career Readiness Academy Transition Program for Young Adults. The Career Readiness Academy at Mosley, where effort meets opportunity.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Good morning. We have heard great things about your overall program, and opportunity to extend his individualized lesson education plan, and we have heard awesome things about the transition program for young adults at the Career Readiness Academy.
Sure, come on in. I'll introduce you to our director.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm one of the teachers from the TPYA program. TPYA stands for Transition Program for Young Adults. Our TPYA students come from the New Hanover County area high schools. They all have completed the extended standards curriculum while they were in high school, and they range between 18 to 22 years old.
I'm excited about being a teacher at the TPYA because our goal is to support the students while they're in the community, and most of our learning takes place within the community setting. We try to build on each student's independence level, and we try to provide them with as many hands-on experiences as possible.
Our classrooms are located at Career Readiness Academy at Mosley on Princess Place Drive and in the Watson College of Education building on UNCW's campus. We are providing individuals with the resources to create a lifestyle of their own choosing.
What I love about TPYA is my teachers and having fun with my friends.
I would ride a bus.
You like riding the bus?
Yeah.
What else do you like about it?
Eat lunch.
Eating lunch here too?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we're glad you're here.
Welcome to the Career Readiness Academy. Can I help you?
Yes, I was interested in your pre-K program.
Well, come on in. Let me buzz you in.
Thank you very much.
We're so excited for you to join Career Readiness Academy at Mosley Pre-K Center. The Pre-K team is working diligently to establish a successful school year for you and your child. As a parent, you're your child's most important teacher, and our Pre-K team look forward to your participation and support during the school year. We believe working together will allow us to reach individual and group goals for our students, our parents, and our staff. Thank you for sharing your children with us.
Row, row, row your boat gently to the shore. If you see a lion, don't forget to...
Welcome to the Career Readiness Academy. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm interested in your E-Academy program.
Okay, let me buzz you in. Come on in.
The E-Academy is a partnership between New Hanover County Schools and our homeschool families in the community. Currently, we also serve former charter and private school students. Students can fully enroll in the E-Academy in grades 6 through 12, or they can dually enroll with the E-Academy and their homeschool. Courses are provided online and can be accessed off-site in the family home. The students and families must agree to an orientation period, which includes an hour a day at Career Readiness Academy at Mosley for a maximum of 10 days. Students and families must also agree to taking all state tests on site at CRA at Mosley, as well as wearing a uniform when on site. If you have questions or want to know more about the E-Academy, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Welcome to the Career Readiness Academy. How can I help you?
Hi, I am interested in your NAP Academy of Finance.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me buzz you in.
We are the Career Readiness Academy in Mosley, a small, non-traditional high school with a career-themed focus. It's our hope that all students will take advantage of the career technical education classes and weave them throughout their coursework. We also offer students STAY, Striving to Achieve Excellence, as well as Career College Promise classes. We want students to become NAFTRAC certified. This allows them to take certain classes that are National Academy Foundation Academy of Finance courses. This allows them to get preferential hiring after high school. So we hope that students will take advantage of this certification.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
You got a couple of interesting students who have gone through your E-Academy. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
share some of those stories?
We have one student named Claudia Webb who we're showcasing right now, who came to us with just a few credits left. The parents had to move back to England and wanted to take her back with her. She came in and took the academy full-heartedly, ended up being our valedictorian, and is being accepted to one of the most prestigious universities in England as we speak. So that was a very good achievement.
Any other questions?
Great. Please come by and see us. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. I do want to give a shout out to our county commissioners. Commissioner Zappel is with us today for finding the funding for that pre-K, those pre-K classrooms. They mean a great deal to us, and it's very heartwarming to see them at Mosley when you go out there, and to see the spread of different programs that are offered at Mosley. It's amazing, and the TPYA kids really love being with those pre-K kids. So it's really amazing. So I encourage all of you to go out there and visit. So thank you again, Commissioner.
Congratulations, Mr. Pearson. Our next recognition is very special as well. Tonight we recognize 4 recipients of this year's Board of Education Scholarship for Future Teachers. Our county commissioners and our board members have made an investment in the future of these young educators. This scholarship it's for $7,000 each year to an accredited North Carolina college or university of the recipient's choice, for a total of up to $28,000 for their education. And in return, these scholarship recipients make a commitment to come back here to New Hanover County Schools to teach and help build our pool of highly qualified teachers. This is so wonderful, and we get to honor these people tonight. So students, when I call your name, as you hear your name, I would ask your parents to please stand, and your school principals if you're here as well. So we will begin with Hoggart High School's Eleni Blackley. Eleni, thank you. She's starting to teach already. From Isaac Bear Early College High School, Machen Lastinger. If you all will remain up there, we'll have a picture at the end. From New Hanover High School, Reagan Radford. And finally, from Laney High School, Mr. Matthew Weaver. To all of the parents and your teachers and principals who are here, we know you are so proud of these students, and we congratulate you all and look forward to seeing you in 4 years. And we'll get a picture of you with that big check. Thank you. We're so proud of you. Congratulations. You want to keep the money? We have, yes, the board, if you would please stay, we have one recognition that's not on the agenda, but it's sort of a surprise. The board wants to recognize our superintendent, Dr. Markley. Dr. Markley was recently named the Superintendent of the Year by the North Carolina School-Based Health Alliance. So I will embarrass my boss and ask him to come forward. Just a little bit about it. This award recognizes the district's commitment to providing accessible, affordable, and quality health care in school-based and school-linked health centers, particularly in the area of mental health support of our students. So Dr. Markley, congratulations to you and the entire district, to the board for making our students' health a priority. Thank you so much.
We have 4 WUD clinics, one at each one of our high schools, and it was this board over the years who was committed to making sure that's available in all of those high schools. So I appreciate the board for their support for those students.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
This one looks familiar. Somebody's been
snatching off your wall.
Look at this.
All right, moving on to item number 5, call to the audience. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. However, time does not permit dialogue between the board and the community. While the board welcomes residents to share their views, the chairman retains the right to limit discussions on a particular topic when such comments become slanderous or personal in nature. Before we begin, we have had, looks like about 21 people sign up, which would take us over the 30-minute time slot that is allotted per our policy. So I would leave it up to the will of the board. The policy does speak to allowing the 3 minutes. So we could, we have several options. We could do the first 10 right now. We could do all of them right now, but we would have to, it would be against the policy. So we want to give everybody a chance to speak. But I want to hear the will of the board as to how we do this. We could do the first 10 now, which would give us the 30 minutes, and then have the remainder speak at the end of the meeting. What is the will of the board?
As chairman of the policy committee, I don't think anybody's going to arrest us if we allow all of them to speak at the beginning of this meeting.
At the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the will of the board?
I think so.
I would second
To
that
allow
motion.
it to continue? Okay.
I agree.
All right. So give everyone the 3 minutes and do it now?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Yep. All right, then that's what we shall do. All right, I would ask that everyone be considerate that I would ask that everyone be considerate, since we do have quite a number sign up, so we can fully allow everyone's voice to be heard. The first person that did sign up was Sonia Patrick Amin-Ra.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sonia Amin-Ra. I currently chair the Southeastern region of the National Black Leadership Carcass. On behalf of the Southeastern Region National Black Leadership Carcass, we are outraged over the slavery games used in our New Hanover public school systems. We are pleased as to the urgent response of the New Hanover Board of Education, and that the slavery games will not be allowed in the public school system. However, we feel the instructor and principal should have been removed from the public school system. I am a descendant of slave captives. The ideology of using slave games as a form of education is immoral. In the school systems, when I was in school, they taught us about the Jewish Holocaust and the autobiography of Anne Frank. However, We were never taught about the Black Holocaust, that has lasted for centuries. Slavery is best taught in our history books. Slavery was the worst form of inhumanity in the history of this country. There are still many horrors of slavery that have never been taught in the school systems or in motion pictures. Roots, the movie, for example, is a fairy tale version of how horrific slavery really was. We are in agreement with NAACP that we need African American educators in our school system. Not having enough Black educators have been a problem in New Hanover County for over almost half a century. However, our organization has always encouraged cultural competency training and have resources. We are pleased that cultural competency training is part of the resolution by New Hanover Board of Education. We would like details as to when this training would take place and if the training is mandatory. This unfortunate incident has shed light that slavery gangs still do exist in this country. Some are used for educational purposes, some are not. But we encourage that it be banned on a national level. Slavery is not a game, it's a horrific part of our past, and we don't want it to be played as a game, as our future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next speaker, Jacqueline White.
First, I want to thank you for this opportunity for the public to make comment. I'm Dr. Jackie White, and I'm here to make a few comments about one aspect of addressing Title IX violations in the schools. And just as a way of background, I moved here to Wilmington about 3 years ago after retiring from UNC Greensboro, where I was on the faculty in the psychology department. While there, I conducted research for over 3 decades on sexual assault and dating violence among teens and young adults. And I'm also the co-founder and past president of the National Partnership to End Interpersonal Violence. And I helped organize the Administrator Researcher Campus Climate Collaborative, which has developed evidence-based approaches to assessing campus climate in the context of Title IX issues. One aspect of that work is focused on institutional betrayal, which is what I want to call your attention to today. Following any form of gender-based violence, including sexual assault, survivors often turn to the larger institution, the teachers, the coaches, the administrators, counselors, for support, assistance, and justice. They're basically turning to you. But when your policies and procedures turn out to be inadequate or are improperly implemented, then you fail the victim and the larger community. When victims are met with inaction, mismanagement, or retribution, they have experienced institutional betrayal. And what I would like you to know is that there's actually a survey, the Institutional Betrayal Questionnaire, that is available without cost for use. The survey assesses, and I quote, wrongdoings perpetrated by an institution upon individuals dependent on that institution, including failure to prevent or respond supportively to wrongdoings committed within the context of the institution. Institutional betrayal has been found through empirical research to predict symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, depression, dissociation, suicide attempts, as well as physical health impairment. It leads to lower confidence in and respect for the institution and its leaders, really everybody connected with education, and it can undermine the status and trust in the institution throughout the community. So addressing the problem begins with understanding the extent of institutional betrayal and then developing policies, practices, and procedures that are transparent, understood, and effectively implemented to reduce it. Institutional betrayal is real, it has consequences, it can be assessed, and it can be prevented, but it does begin with determining how pervasive it is. The community needs an opportunity to be heard. We might even want to think about a New Hanover County Me Too movement to identify the extent of the problem. Thank you.
Next speaker, Tyrone Muhammad.
Greetings.
My name is Tyrone Muhammad. I'm the local representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam here in Wilmington and the surrounding areas. I would like to speak directly to the Coddington Elementary slave gang incident. And I wanted to start by raising or quoting some words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from his book, The Fall of America, dealing with the public school system. And it reads, "The current study of American history is nothing more than an indoctrination of Americans in the ideas of white supremacy and black inferiority. The fundamental philosophies of Western civilization are rooted in white supremacy. You can't bring a black child into that kind of educational environment and produce a child who loves and respects itself. You produce a child who bows to white people and looks at white people as being God. This is why black history should be studied not only by black people, but by white people, as we have developed a respect for white people by knowing their history and great accomplishments. Whites will develop a respect for black, Native American, and Hispanic people, and all the peoples of the earth when they know the histories and contributions of others to the onward march of civilization in a pluralistic society such as they claim this is." And that's a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but I wanted to say that the slave game is a prime example of why our position as it stands as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that separation really is the best and only solution. Because I mean, for years, and we're talking about sensitivity, I mean, at this point, I mean, sensitivity training, I mean, what is it gonna take for us, for you all, or you know, for a white supremacist mindset, which this public school system represents, not only here in Wilmington, but throughout the country. You know, so we're beyond sensitivity training. It's just that it's just a thing of there's no justice, there's no equality, there's no real freedom in regard to this public system and our people, and it produces the slave mentality. And I recognize that you know, many people they're proud of that history of being the slave master and want to perpetuate and play that kind of a game, which really just adds insult to our pain, you know, for our children. Our babies deserve better than that. But white children deserve better than that as well. There's a great history of things that aren't being taught in the public school system that you all need to know that you could benefit from that's not in the public schools, in the public school textbooks. You know, there's a great history of Caucasian people in Europe, in the caves, before you came out civilized and were able to stand up and just and take care of yourselves.
I'm sorry, Mr. Muhammad, the
Okay.
3 minutes are
But
up.
anyway, I thank you. There's so much to say. 3 minutes really is not sufficient. But I thank you for the time. Peace.
Florence Warren.
Good evening. On behalf of the Williston Alumni Association, we urge this New Hanover County Board of Education to actively be proactive about insensitive choices teachers make in regard to instructing our children. We want to go on record that the recent use of the slavery game and the disregard of a student not given a Christmas gift by the teacher when all others were given one are inexcusable acts. We didn't realize that slavery was reduced to a game, but a way of imprisonment for a certain group of people. We feel it is unethical that an adult, moreover an educator, would damage a child's self-esteem, self-worth, and implicate that he or she wasn't as worthy as the other students to receive a gift. What seed did this teacher plant? Teachers are an extension of parents. We attempt always to plant seeds that sprout greatness and build a strong community. When we empower our students, we empower our communities. As a former teacher of 35 years, experience, I represent the Williston Alumni Association Incorporated. I'm a graduate of Williston Senior High School, as you know. We implore that this board immediately implement implicit bias and cultural competency training on a yearly basis. We also recommend and concur with the NAACP that a diverse group inclusive of African American community be involved in selecting the team to provide the training. We implore the board to provide sensitivity training to all personnel employed by the New Hanover County Schools. This training should be inclusive of the front office staff and all employees that have contact with students and parents. Thank you for listening to our concerns, and we look forward to seeing some positive changes in the very near future. God bless.
Evelyn Bryant.
Good afternoon. I'm here representing a coalition of parents, citizens, organizations, and business owners dedicated to addressing the concerns of our group and concerns of the African American community pertaining to creating equitable practices for the success of Black students within the New Hanover County school system. Here are just a few areas in which we see need improvement. Data has shown that although African American students only account for 19% of students within the New Hanover County school system, 63% of them experienced short-term suspension between 2016 and 2017. Black students within our district were 8.3 times more likely than their white classmates to receive a suspension, and 7.3 times more likely to be referred to juvenile delinquent court. Research has shown that out-of-school suspensions lead to weaker academic performance, decreased school attendance, and a poor impact on peers. This alarming disparity, coupled with recent and past events, have shown a repeated pattern of indifference for adequate education, development, and well-being of our African American children who have had a right to be included in our school practices as listed in Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Therefore, we would like to present a policy recommendation to implement a Citizens Review Board that will provide a second set of eyes to the school board's actions to provide both praise and feedback in, number one, addressing parent complaints, number two, providing the public with transparent and accurate responses to conflicts/challenges in a timely manner, three, ensuring that educators who display implicit bias against students of minority backgrounds are accountable to their constituents, and number four, support a more inclusive management approach to situations relative to racial inequity. We also recommend that the New Hanover County school system fund a culturally appropriate supplemental program for African American students to create an environment that fosters an improved sense of self-worth, empowerment, and provides a true and accurate educational curriculum on African American history. By considering the implementation of these recommended actions, the New Hanover County School Board will not only be working to close the academic achievement gap between African American and white students, but to improve educational outcomes and quality of life for our children and communities as a whole, a right deemed to us as American citizens. Thank you.
They do.
Herbert Harris and Sandra Spaulding Hughes.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Herbert Harris, former director of the Community Action Group, and Sandra Spaulding Hughes, former city council member and former member of the North Carolina State House of Representatives. We're here tonight to speak on an issue regarding this escaping slavery game at Coddington Elementary School. I'm aware that this issue has been raised recently, and the New Hanover County School Board has taken some steps to address it. However, we are speaking tonight to highlight the importance of this issue in a broader sense and to point out a real issue of racial insensitivity that exists and may permeate the entire New Hanover County school system. First, I thank God for the parent who stood up and said that this escaping slavery game was wrong. Not only was it wrong, it was inappropriate, insensitive, and racist. When I first heard about using this escaping slavery game at the Coddington Elementary School, I could not believe it. It took watching the news and further inquiry to verify that not only was this game played by the students at Coddington Elementary in this year, but it had also been used in previous years. It is therefore important that we know how long and which schools have been using this game. Second, I'd like for you to consider the 3 points. Point 1, to introduce, approve, or permit this escaping slavery game to be played at the Coddington Elementary School or in any public school is an insult to all African Americans and trivializes a 400-year traumatic slavery experience perpetrated by white Americans upon black Americans. Point 2, to permit and in fact encourage this game to be introduced and played by black and white students demonstrates a total lack of sensitivity and lack of historical intelligence on the part of the teachers, principals, and administrators. I dare say that these same teachers, principals, administrators would consider using and escaping the Holocaust game. Point 3, the fact that this escaping slavery game was used in the New Hanover County school system at all demonstrates racism of the worst kind, impacting the minds of our students, and requires that this entire school system and its curriculum should be examined top to bottom to more fully understand how any intelligent educator could think that this game was an appropriate way, especially during Black History Month, to highlight and honor the contributions of African Americans in the city, state, and county. In conclusion, this game and the educational reality that surrounds it has struck a nerve in the consciousness of fair-minded black and white citizens of this county, and as such should be diligently and swiftly addressed by this Board of Education so that this never happens again.
Natacha Longo.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me some of your time. I'm here to address the board in regards to the way that parent complaints are handled. I'm going to give you a brief history. In 2013, we moved back here from upstate New York. For the first couple months that my child was enrolled in school, did great. Shortly after, she began to be bullied. I filed complaints. Mediations were done. The bullying continued. I had a meeting with, you have to give me a minute. It's a little emotional. I had a meeting with administrators, and due to advocating for my child, I was bullied in return. Soon, my child began to self-harm. We put her in counseling. She done extensive counseling, and by the end of 2014, early 2015, my child tried to commit suicide. Come to find out, my child was sexually harassed by a peer on her school bus. I immediately called the school to file a complaint. The SRO then refused to file the complaint. He didn't have enough evidence to file a complaint. So I file a complaint with the board. I go directly to his supervisor, the complaint is made. Eventually, the sexual harassment happened again. My child was hospitalized yet another time due to trying to commit suicide. I filed another complaint with the board. From 2014 to 2015, my child had to ride the school bus with her assaulter every day of the year until she graduated from high school. And in that time, I filed over 50 complaints with the school board, and nothing was done. My child was then sent to J.C. Rowe. In my opinion, I do to put a lid on things because I continued to complain, which backfired because she excelled. She was able to graduate a year early, and now she starts college in the fall. Yeah. I'm here to ask you to do your due diligence when complaints are made. My child suffers from PTSD. However, she can hold down a permanent job and continue college. That may not be the case for future students who go through what my child has gone through. It is detrimental that you take every single complaint that is made by parents seriously. I'm also asking for accountability on the part of those who mishandled those complaints. It is of my knowledge that out of the 50 complaints I made, you all have one on record, and it has nothing to do
Ms. Longo,
with
I'm sorry.
the bullying or the sexual assault. Thank you.
Thank you. Debra Dix Maxwell.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board.
Good evening.
I stand in full support of the comments you've already heard with regard to slavery in Coddington. My name is Debra Dix Maxwell, and I'm the president of New Hanover County NAACP, and I have sent you copies of the press release in which I addressed my concerns previously. I stated today that I would speak on diversity, but I erred. My topic should have been the lack of diversity, and that has caused problems in the classrooms, as noted at Coddington. And so one of the recommendations was that this school board utilize REI, or Racial Equity Institute, which is based, I believe, in Guilford County, to provide training that is needed for New Hanover County schools. Please consider first looking at the schools with the largest disciplinary rates. It has been researched that disciplinary rates increase when educators lack cultural sensitivity, especially with Black males. A recommending reading source until implementation of training is Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys by Dr. Kunjungfu. The community is New Hanover County when you proceed further in making decisions that will impact all upcoming elementary school children and redistricting. No child's educational success or failure should be determined by their zip code. As a newly formed board, I'm asking that when you make decisions, look at the equity factor in each situation. You have an opportunity to make this county rise educationally or fail even further. It is up to you and your decisions as you put aside any differences and work together for the good of the children of New Hanover County. Thank you.
Ann York. Dr. Ann York.
Well, I'm going to change the topic a little bit. I'm here tonight to recognize some very, very talented students in the New Hanover County school system. I wanted to share this good news with you. The New Hanover County NAACP AXO group held its 2019 local competition Saturday morning, March 9th at the International Embassy of Holiness. For those of y'all who don't know about AXO, AXO stands for Afro Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. It's been the primary national NAACP youth activity for the past 41 years. Each year, high school students compete locally in 32 categories for the opportunity to win an expense-paid trip to nationals and a chance to win national scholarships. New Hanover County is in our third year of competition. Last year, 2 of our students won bronze medals nationally, along with $1,000 scholarships and new iPads. We begin meeting each month on Sunday afternoons in September and culminate in a local competition in March. And gold medal winners receive an all-expense-paid trip to nationals, which this year will be in Detroit. I wanted to let you know that our local medal winners were Kennedy Martin from Laney. She won gold in sculpture, silver in poetry. Cameron Martin from Isaac Bear Early College, who won gold in short story playwriting and painting. Dara Devane from Wilmington Early College, who won gold in painting and essay. Lauren Lee from Isaac Bear Early College, who won gold in filmmaking. Jackie Benetton from Laney, who won gold in contemporary dance. And Nestor Rodriguez Garcia from Brunswick Early College, who won gold in oratory. I have attached, never mind, I sent Ms. Quattlebaum a copy of the winner's picture, which we'll be sending to nationals, and hopefully y'all will get to know the students that way. I wanted to thank especially Ms. Pamela Vines, who's our AXO chair, Ms. Debra Dix Maxwell, who was the AXO founder here in New Hanover County, and as you know, she's president of the New Hanover County NAACP branch. Ms. Shay Webb, who's a UNCW health technology student and a former AXO gold medalist, and she's our assistant AXO chair. Ashanti Pickett, who's UNCW student in environmental science, and she was our AXO UNCW mentor chair. I wanted to thank First Bank and Michael Pinero, who provided notary services, and all of our monthly meeting speakers, our mentors who met with us each month, and our judges. So, Ms. Quattlebaum, we appreciate all that she is doing to get the news out of these very talented students in our community, and we hope we'll bring back some more medals this year from Detroit. Thank you.
Anna Lee.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Anna Lee. I'm a New Hanover County resident and mother of a third grader who until a few months ago was a New Hanover County school student. While my son is now at a school outside the district, I continue to be deeply invested in our public schools because I believe in the power of a robust, equitable public education to transform the lives of children, families, and entire communities. I wish I could say that I felt right now that New Hanover County Schools was a district that provided that kind of transformative and just educational experience for all students, but I cannot. You may find that a harsh criticism, or perhaps you don't believe me, but I challenge you to sit with it. It's not comfortable to hear critiques of our work or that of the organization we lead, but I'm sure you all know that it's essential to face reality head-on if we're in fact to be the best that we can be. I assume that you're committed to serving all students and helping New Hanover County schools improve. If you weren't, why would you spend your time running for this office? So starting from that assumption, I want to share a few words of both gratitude and challenge for you. First, I thank you for the work that you're beginning to do that's focused on addressing implicit bias and undoing systemic racism through training yourselves, school leaders, and teachers. The existence of this training is a welcome shift from the past when board members denied the problems of racial and other biases existed in our schools. By providing this training, you're acknowledging the need for your own learning of how to undo the harmful biases that we all carry with us. This is transformative leadership in action. I also appreciate your work to implement a new Title IX committee and related trainings. This is a long overdue need. But creation of new policies where there were none, or improving upon existing weak policies, is an important step in moving us forward. It may be tempting to say that's all that needs to be done. However, the policies are only as good as those that shape and enforce them. I believe that transformative leadership also requires accountability to those most impacted, and we expect accountability from those who've committed wrongs in the past. You've been asked by parents and community leaders to initiate an impartial third-party study of how administrators at the district and school level have handled parent complaints. I ask you to heed that call. It doesn't have to be complicated. Create a mechanism for parents and students and staff through an anonymous survey to tell you what their experiences have been. People are often afraid to share because they fear retaliation or their impacts on themselves and their children. I'll share briefly my own experience with the district's response to an important parent concern to illustrate the importance of this. The issue is the racial disparity in admittance of children to the Spanish immersion program. Maybe you're saying, we've handled this. It's moved to Gregory, we have a new admission policy of lottery. But to that I say, where is the accountability to parents whose children were excluded from this program, who didn't have the chance to benefit from it? All an administrator had to do was walk into a classroom of that school and see a classroom of white children and a classroom of black children, one immersion and one not, and understand something was going on. And there needs to be accountability at the district level for folks who didn't ask that question of a principal on whom the blame was placed.
Ms. Lee, your time is up, sorry.
Thank you. I ask you to continue to take the steps you're taking and have accountability for those who did not handle past wrongs. Thank you.
Amanda Boomerstein.
Good evening. My name's Amanda Boomerstein, and my husband and I have 2 daughters in New Hanover County Schools, and we also foster children in your school system. I'm actually here today in my professional role as a Spanish professor at UNCW who teaches and advocates for heritage Spanish speakers. I'd like to talk to you about the linguistic rights of heritage speakers in this county. A heritage speaker in the United States is someone who was raised in a home where a non-English language is spoken, and in this case that would be Spanish. The student may speak or understand the heritage language and be to some degree bilingual in English and Spanish. And depending on where that heritage speaker lives, he or she may not receive formal education in Spanish until high school, and even then it may be in a traditional Spanish class designed for second language learners of Spanish. So currently the district does not offer any heritage Spanish classes, and heritage speakers often end up taking Spanish 1 or Spanish 2 classes with students who speak no Spanish, or they take other electives. This would be equivalent to placing English speakers in an ESL class. That said, I'm very happy to hear that the district has now the resources to begin offering heritage Spanish classes at New Hanover High School next year for students coming out of Gregory's immersion program. My understanding is that these classes will be honors Spanish heritage classes, but I do hope that the heritage students at New Hanover High School will be able to enroll in them. I'm here this evening to ask you to offer heritage Spanish classes at all of your high schools and middle schools. I understand that these classes are not currently being offered due to a lack of resources, but since the county is now able to offer these classes to immersion students at New Hanover High School, I hope that you're able to offer them to the very students that they are designed for. Roughly 10% of this county's population is Hispanic, and the majority of that population are children in your school system. There are hundreds and hundreds of heritage speakers of Spanish in your schools, and research shows that offering them the opportunity to formally study their language will increase proficiency scores in English, as well as help them maintain their Spanish, providing measurable cognitive and career benefits. The district has demonstrated that it understands the value of bilingualism through its efforts at the International School of Gregory, and now is a chance to show that bilingualism is valued for all students in the county, even those who come from a home where Spanish is spoken. Would you consider converting at least one traditional Spanish class per term into a heritage Spanish class so that our Hispanic students are able to learn to read and write in Spanish, just as their non-Hispanic classmates are encouraged to do? My colleagues and I are happy to provide professional development support to current Spanish teachers in order to help them develop and teach heritage Spanish classes in your district. I hope you will follow in the steps of other districts in North Carolina and throughout the country to offer the Hispanic students in this district the same opportunities that you afford those who come from English-speaking households, the gift of bilingualism and biliteracy. Thank you.
Pastor Robert Campbell.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. Pastor Rob Campbell, pastor of New Beginning Christian Church. I'm here tonight with other concerned citizens to stand up for our students. We've all been talking about the Coddington situation, the incident. We do not believe that that teacher was intentionally racist or malicious in her acts. We believe that it is not as much as that teacher failed us as it is the board failed that teacher and it failed our community. And when I say the board, I know that many of you all are new, so it's not the board that you created, it's the one that you adopted or adopted you. And we recognize that you began to set forth a new initiative with your quick response and your aggressive statement. And we'd like to applaud you for it. We thank you for doing it. We're here tonight to ask for a couple of things: accountability and reportability. We're asking that you not only make the statement, but make the statement a plan and quantify and specify what you're going to do. In your statement, if you say you're going to train every New Hanover County employee, tell us how many employees. And then we'd ask in 6 months, you would give us a milestone update of that. We'd ask first at your next meeting that you'd come out and say, here is the plan that's quantifiable and verifiable. And then in 6 months, you give us a milestone report. And then in February of 2020, Black History Month, you would share with us the final results. We recognize that this didn't happen overnight and it's not going to change overnight, but it can change tonight. We also ask, there are a couple of things in your statement that I thought was great, but we recognize that talking about getting more minority teachers has been talked about long enough. We've got 1,900 teachers, and only 103 of those are African American, 5.4%. That's abysmal. We also recognize that we are talking about making principals accountable for the culture of their school. What a novel idea. They've always been accountable. Now when you make it a part of their evaluation, we will now get to see that it's a priority to you and it will become a priority to them. We thank you for what you have stated. Now we want to see the results. We hope that next week, you will next month, you will publish your statement into a plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kelly Stanley.
Hello. My name is Kelly Stanley. I am here tonight as a concerned citizen. I'm also a parent of 2 school-age children. Like all parents, I want the best for my kids. I strive to be a good parent, and I strongly believe that the way to do that is to be a good citizen. So in order to do that, I have to sometimes look past my kids and our neighborhood and see that the quality education that my kids are being provided is not being provided to so many of the African American children in our community. For those willing to look, it's easy to see that the children in our county are afforded vastly different opportunities based largely on their skin color. We all know that this is not right, and so it is with so much gratitude and hope that I am here tonight to address a school board that appears to be ready and willing to take action on this issue. Please know that you have the support of many community members. Now, specifically, there are two parts of this statement that was released last month that I would like to address with my remaining time. The first is the large-scale book study on cultural competency. From a brief review of this recommended book that was mentioned in your statement, it appears that this could be a great first step, but only if in fact it is that, a first step, followed up by many additional steps. It's my understanding that participating in these book studies is voluntary. If that is the case, it seems impossible to connect this to a measurable outcome. What if instead of, or perhaps in addition to this book being used for a voluntary book study, it's also required reading for beginning teachers in their first 3 years? I know that there must be so much information that new teachers need to learn, but it's hard to imagine that there are any topics that are more important than cultural competency. Secondly, I'd like to express my concern about the effectiveness of the focus group discussions that have occurred. If these discussions occurring about equity, bias, and access in our district, if there are not people of color at that table, then we need to recognize that we are inviting the wrong people to the table. This seems obvious to me, right? It seems obvious to me, but when I stop and consider the gross underrepresentation of people of color on our school board and in our schools as teachers and administrators, this seems like a significant question. So moving forward, I urge you, the board, to not put forth resolutions that can't be quantified, but to instead focus on actionable steps that have well-defined and measurable outcomes so that people can be held accountable if these goals are not met. Thank you.
Rebecca Trammell.
Hi. I practically know most of you guys on a first-name basis. And I'm happy to be back here tonight to say thank you for those resolutions that were immediately passed after the Coddington incident. It spoke volumes to me, and pretty much everything that I've been asking for about a year was stated, and I appreciate those resolutions. I want to talk to you tonight about the equity team. So what does the equity team look like? Does it look equitable? Do some of the people look like me? Do some of those people on that team, have they ever experienced the horror of their child being experienced to racism? I know that that's probably not your experience. And I'm glad it's not. But I'll be even happier when it's no one's experience. So why do I do this? What could be more important than education? What? What could be the one indicator in society that would say that there is a brighter tomorrow? It's education. I can't imagine anything more important than what you guys do, because you guys set the standard. You guys set the bar, and I'm asking you to set it high and even set it higher. So with that, I'm asking, first of all, I want to thank Al Bryant, who has been participating every single week in my community conversations at Williston High School. And your presence, sir, has not gone unnoticed. He's there. Half the game is just showing up, and he showed up. So what I'm asking for this equity team, as part of the resolution, can you tell us who they are and give us updates on social media and in WECT, WAY, the news, paper? We just want to know, what does this look like and where is this going? And also, how can we be involved? I think that all the people that are standing behind me tonight, they're also standing for you and what you said you're going to do. And if there's something that we can do to be a part of it, you just let us know, because we're all there. And with that, I'm going to say the one thing that I think Whitney Houston said best. Because I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Won't you give them a sense of pride to make it easier? Let the children's laughter remind us who we used to be.
Ms. Trammell, if you hang around, we're going to talk about the Equity Committee in a little bit.
Thank you.
Tyler Shoemate.
Hello, my name is Tyler Shoemate, and I'm a teacher in New Hanover County. First, I want to say thank you to the board and to Dr. Markley for allowing me to speak this evening. I have read and reviewed the board statement and action plan after the incident at Coddington. I think the action plan is excellent and will benefit not only our staff, but students as well if implemented correctly. There is one action statement that I would like to address specifically, the implicit bias training that principals will receive in June 2019. We believe that it's the best interest of our students to have that same training delivered to all teachers in New Hanover County. Teachers are the heartbeat of the school and ultimately decide how and in what manner curriculum will be delivered in the classroom. It is vital for all of us to know what implicit bias is, what it looks and sounds like, and ultimately how to avoid it in the classroom. Implicit bias refers to attitudes and stereotypes that affect our understanding, actions, and decisions unconsciously in regards to race and ethnicity. Why this particular training? To ensure that the only black student in a class isn't left giftless at Christmas. And to make sure a minority student isn't a pawn in a game. Teachers need the training to identify their implicit bias and learn how to dismantle them. We spend the first few work days in August focused on academically growing our students, when we should focus on ethically and morally developing teachers and in turn students as well. If the children are our future, let's ensure that we are using every source and every ounce of energy to ensure it's an equitable and fair future for all students, especially for our students of color. I do want to thank the board and Dr. Markley for their bold stance on the importance of cultural competency training and the requirement to have this training at the beginning of the 2019-2020 school year. Cultural competency is not an easy topic to discuss and often comes with mixed reactions and emotions. We love our kids, but we deserve the training to know how to tackle prejudices and biases that we may not even know exist. Considering the difficulty and uneasiness that accompanies these discussions, we ask that the principals be held accountable to ensure that the training is delivered with fidelity. There should be follow-up from both the central office and the board to ensure that it's being carried out with fidelity and integrity. Any good teacher knows that their principal is stretched to the max, as we all are. I certainly see this with my own principal. But this is important. Let's ensure that our teachers receive 100% quality and implicit training in cultural competency and implicit bias. I do emphasize both because cultural competency and implicit bias can't and shouldn't be separated. It would be like peanut butter with no jelly, shrimp with no grits, or dare I say North Carolina without college basketball. They are the left and right shoe that put us on the path to equitable classrooms that will be a model for the state of North Carolina and the entire Southeast. My friends and I stood before you tonight because, like you, we love and care about each and every one of our kids in New Hanover County. They are the best and the brightest and represent our future. We want to ensure a more ethical and fair future for everyone through the adequate training for our teachers. Thank you for your time this evening and for your devotion to the betterment of all students and teachers, with special regard to those of different ethnicities and races. Thank you.
Edgerton.
My name is Clyde Edgerton, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk to the board, and I appreciate the board hearing all of us tonight. The song that I heard growing up was Jesus Loves the Little Children of the World. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. I'm sad about the fact of, and I'd like to say something about redistricting. If Jesus came to New Hanover County and wanted to see the black children, he would be sent to one place in general. The white children, he'd be sent to another place. I think there cannot be racial sensitivity. There cannot be what's called racial reconciliation without racial justice. And I don't think you can have racial justice until you have accountability for when racism happens. And it happened in, and I realize I'm saying this a lot, it happened in first come, first serve. In 2015 and 16, it happened clearly. And the way it was handled is, I'm not sure, but I've given you a lot of material. I was planning on putting something up on the board, and I can't do that. But I will say that I tried to bring forth a complaint about first come, first serve, which for those who don't know was a program that the enrollment was supposed to start on 2nd March 2015, and on the 27th of February, the program was full. In a 46% black school, it was full of 40 children without one African American student. And the way that happens, I think maybe the board, how it happened, maybe they know. I have evidence that you have seen that not only did the board find out in June, but the superintendent and the deputy superintendent knew about it. The deputy superintendent in a 2012 blog talked about how he was responsible for enrollment. And the principal has sworn under oath that upper administration knew about it. It's also been stated in other places that the upper administration knew about it, but the upper administration's comment now is that the principal was in charge of this all the time. And so when I bring it up at the last board meeting, first come, first serve, mention it one time, the board lawyer takes several minutes, 4 minutes or so, telling about what happened after first come, first serve. What happened during first come, first serve is going to become more and more public. The principal said, white parents cannot advertise this program in African and minority communities because of safety issues. And the superintendent supported that in a letter, which I was told was a reason I couldn't complain. I was also told I had not been aggrieved. When one black child or any other child of color is aggrieved, we're all aggrieved.
Reverend Dante Murphy.
Madam Chair, I'm here tonight to clear because this board has made a habit of making comment after I make comment, but then not allowing me to say anything in response. It seems that this statement that I made, that if you all did not do an independent investigation, it would make you all co-conspirators to child abuse and discrimination. Unlike what some of your board members have said, that was not directed personally to any of you. So what I done, because some people said to me, Reverend Murphy, you all as all white board probably don't like hearing that from a black man. So I've adopted what the professor from UNCW has said. If you don't investigate your top administrator for mishandling, complaints of child abuse, and discrimination, then you do become co-conspirators to institutional betrayal of victims of the same. People are asking for action because all of this talk about racism, we've been talking about racism for 400 years. People want action. when an administrator does something that's racist and wrong, why do they get to keep their jobs? And this Title IX committee that you have put together, one of the top administrators that we are saying has been problematic in those complaints, you put that person on the Title IX committee. So that shows that you're really wanting to put action to words. I'm not saying all this is easy because you got an attorney that's telling you what to do. You got an attorney that goes in and say what you can and you can't do, and I know that. So this is not an easy problem. But the first thing you can do, and you don't need an attorney's permission for this, get Dr. Rick Holliday off of that Title IX committee.
I've been asked to take a 5-minute break, so we will.
Safe to go to the bathroom.
It is, what time is it?
7:06.
7:06, we'll meet back here in 5 minutes.
Do you need to use that?